Hello everyone. So today we will start our second semester subject, Design of Analog and Mixed Mode VLSI Circuits. The books you have to refer is, the first book is Design of Analog CMOS Integrated Circuits by Behed Rezavi. Almost 4 modules are covered in this book, and the last module is covered in Jacob Becker, which is a second book of your syllabus. So let us see why analog. So why we have to study the analog design? So if you look into the block diagram, or you can say any modern system consists of the input block as analog to digital converter and the output block as digital to analog converter. So outside world is in the analog form. That analog signal through the sensors is given to the analog to digital converter. It converts to digital signal, and all the processing is done in one of the processor. So this digital signal is fed to the processor. The entire processing is done into the processor. We cannot send the digital signal to the outside world. So again this processor digital output is given to the digital to analog converter, and finally we have the analog signal at the output. So since we need to convert from analog to digital signal at the input and at the output digital to analog signal, so these two are called as the mixed mode circuits, where we have analog circuits also, digital circuit also. Here also we have digital circuit as well as the analog circuit. So this is the basic idea of why we have to go for the analog design and as well as the mixed mode circuits. So let us start with a basic MOS device physics. Already we have studied it. It is just an introduction part. General consideration. MOSFET as a switch, where we have 3 terminals, source, gate and the drain terminal. The arrow mark represents the source terminal. This is a polysilicon gate and this is the drain terminal. MOSFET structure. See, as already we have studied, again it consists of 3 terminals, source, gate and the drain terminal. Gate is a polysilicon gate, and in between the polysilicon gate and the substrate we have the oxide. That is very thin oxide which is deposited between the polysilicon gate and the substrate terminal. The dimension of the gate along the source and the drain path is called as the length. So this is the dimension of the gate, and the perpendicular to the length is called as the width of the transistor. So this is the width of the transistor and this is the length of the transistor. And also, since during the fabrication the source drain junctions side diffuse, so actually the drawn length is so much, because source and the drain of the transistors side diffuse, the effective length will always be less than the drawn length. Therefore, effective length L effective is equal to L drawn minus 2 times the LD, where L EFF is the effective length, L drawn is the total length, and LD is the amount of the side diffusion. See, look here, this is the side diffusion that is represented as LD, and this also is the side diffusion. So this is LD and this is LD. Therefore, L effective will be is equal to L drawn minus 2 times the LD. And always, since it is an N transistor, it has to start from the P substrate, and we have 2 N plus regions diffused into the P substrate to form the N transistor. Actually, MOSFET is a 4-terminal device. The substrate of the NMOS transistor is connected to the most negative supply in the system. This is the substrate terminal of the NMOS transistor, and these 3 are the HL terminals, source, gate and the drain. And This is a substrate terminal which is called as the bulk terminal, or also it is called as the body terminal. For example, if the circuit operates between 0 to 3 volts, the substrate voltage of the NMOS transistor will be is equal to 0 volts. If we study the CMOS transistor, CMOS consists of both the N transistor as well as the P transistor. It has to start from the P substrate, and we have the N well fabricated, or you can say diffused into the P substrate. In the N well we have P transistor, and in the P substrate we have the N transistor. So this is the N transistor, this is the bulk of the N transistor. These two P plus regions represent the source and the drain of the P transistor, and this is the bulk of the P transistor. Therefore, this is called as PMOS inside the N well. Since it is a P substrate, N well, and in the N well we have P transistor, and in the P transistor we have the N transistor. So there are various ways of representing the MOS symbols. This is the first type of the representation, where we have the arrow mark outside represent the NMOS, arrow mark inside represents the PMOS transistor. So here 4 terminals are represented: source, gate, drain, along with the bulk terminal. Here only 3 terminals are represented: source, gate and the drain. Outside arrow mark is a NMOS transistor, inside arrow mark is the PMOS transistor. And this is one more type of the representation, where bubble indicates PMOS transistor, no bubble indicates it is a NMOS transistor. This is just a general consideration of what is MOS transistor. So next we have to study what is the IV characteristics.